Alright guys, welcome to the first lesson of the CSS Crash Course, and in this lesson we're going to be learning about what CSS is and how it's used in web development. So first things first, what does CSS stand for? Now CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet, and there's a big emphasis here placed on style. Now while HTML is used to structure a web document, so defining things like paragraphs, headings, and then allowing you to embed images, videos, and other forms of media, CSS is used to design the layouts and essentially just comes through and specifies your document's style, colors, fonts, and all sorts of things that are determined with CSS. So another way of thinking of how the two are combined is HTML is the foundation, which every house has, and CSS is the aesthetic choices. And there's a big difference between a Victorian mansion and a mid-century modern home. And also, like HTML, CSS is not a programming language. So you're probably wondering now how CSS works, and what I'm going to do is go into VS Code to demonstrate this. So as I mentioned, CSS brings style into our web pages by interacting with HTML elements. Now elements are just individual HTML components of a web page. So for instance, we have this paragraph tag here, or an element within the body, and just say that we wanted to make this paragraph or the content of this paragraph appear green to people viewing our web page through a web browser. Now using just HTML, this isn't possible. You'd need CSS to style this. Now if you look up here, I've got an opening and closing style tag, and this is just one of the ways you can style our HTML, and we will be looking at ways we can implement CSS in the next video. But in this case, the paragraph that you see here, or the P, is called the selector. Now this is the part of the CSS code which specifies which HTML element the CSS styling will affect. And in CSS, the selector is always written first and to the left, and then to the right you have two curly braces, and the information between the curly braces is called a declaration. Now each declaration contains properties and values that are applied to the selector. So properties are things like font size, color, or margin, and values are just the settings of these properties. So in the example you see here, we've got the property of color, and we wanted our paragraph to appear green. So inside the value here, we set the color to green, and then what we're going to do is just refresh the page, and you can see now the content inside the paragraph is green, and this is how it would appear in our web browser. And that's essentially how CSS works, guys. We select the element that we want to style, then we make a declaration, and then we use properties and values to style that element. But that'll be it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button and please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video where we're going to be looking at ways we can implement CSS.